Good morning, Anthony Spark here. Just checking in on a Monday morning. We kind of still holiday mode, kind of getting back into work, that sort of thing. So great time to consider our careers. And those of us who are in the PT world, I've been involved in fitness for quite a while, about 25 years in PT and fitness education, and then back in PT. And good morning, thank you for joining. Good on you, Huge. So I've been entertaining this idea of what is it about personal training that actually works, and when does it not work? What are we as an industry doing wrong that might lead to clients not getting results, the industry not being as successful as it is? And gee, the more I thought about this, it went from kind of a quick thought of, oh wow, there's this and this that means it works, and this that means that it doesn't work. But it's bigger than that. It's more important than that. Good morning, Mum. Great to have Mum on the live, isn't it? So the reason we know personal training works is that anyone who's been a PT in the industry for a reasonable length of time, let's say 6 months plus, you've probably had a client who's got some success. And when we talk about success, I was thinking, what's the meaning of success? What is the outcome, the benchmark that we say this person's successful? And for the purpose of this recording, I'm going to say success is a client who's achieved a result they've set for themselves, but they've been able to maintain that result for a period of time. And I think if we're serious about is personal training successful, the outcome should be that the client would continue to exercise if you weren't available. So if you moved or died or changed industries or whatever, would the PT client continue to exercise? I'd like to say exercise without a personal trainer, but it's probably unrealistic given that there are so many PTs around, and PT makes exercise so much easier. Why wouldn't you have a personal trainer? So the benchmark, the thing that we know that personal training works is that those of us who've been around for a while have got clients, or at least had a client who's got success and is, changed over the long term, not just the short term. And when I say when is PT not successful, it's the clients that we have who don't get a result. They don't lose the weight, they don't get stronger, fitter, faster, whatever it is that they want to get. Or they get a short-term result which is very temporary in their life. There's been no behavior change, no long-term change in what they're doing. And I think this is where it falls down. I want to move away from the bullshit shakes that someone takes for a week and they drop a few kilos and go, woohoo, I made it. And the PT goes, woohoo, look what I did with my client. No, if you give someone the cabbage soup diet for a week and they drop a few kilos, that's great, but that's not behavior change. That's not long term. There's nothing, life changing about somebody dropping a few kilos, and that, that can be even dehydration or whatever. So, in terms of what makes it successful, good morning, Nick, what makes it successful is long term change. So let's say 3 to 6 months minimum change in someone's behavior, lifestyle, been able to maintain results is sort of our benchmark for today. So from my perspective, there's two main elements that determines why PT is successful. And I'm going to piss a few people off with this because I've got a lot of people who are the sports scientists, the strength and conditioning coaches, all that sort of stuff, that are going to tell me I'm going too light. But the two things that I reckon PT brings to the table, first and most importantly, is accountability. Because our clients just freaking show up. They just turn up to wherever your exercise, whether it's your studio or a big box gym or the park or whatever you do. The clients show up. If they don't show up, there's zero chance of them getting a result. The fact that they show up, 3 cheers for them, 3 cheers for you. Accountability is crucial, I reckon, for our clients to get results. And when I say success, I want to also lean on your success as a personal trainer. If you're a PT out there, earning a living, running a business, then it's about your success and the client's success. Two separate entities, I get it, but that's cool. Good morning, Julie. So the accountability step one, the step two is intensity. PTs will provide an environment where the client wants to work a little bit harder than they would do so on their own. And I say a little bit harder, that might be 10% harder. Like if they're pretty hardcore and full on, you might only squeeze another 5-10% out of them. Or if they're an absolute beginner, you might be doing 100% better job with them, or more intense job with them than on their own. In saying that, I think some of the traps that we fall into in PT world is that we think it's all about just smashing clients, and it's freaking not. Let's move away from that model because I seriously think that's damaging our industry. The reason why I know that personal training doesn't work is because 63% of Australians are overweight. And that is an unacceptable figure. That is just way too much. On a more personal level, it's more about the fact that many of our personal training clients will not continue to integrate the behaviors that we're trying to teach them into their daily life. They don't make long-term behavior change intrinsically motivated. They'll do it if you tell them to do it, if you make them do it, but it won't be internalized by them, which means it's impossible for it to be long-term behavior change. So if we are going to make an impact on the health of the population in Australia and abroad as an industry, then I think what we need to do is move away from thinking that we're training people's bodies and recognize that we're training their brains. Yes, the short-term benefits of a great workout is awesome, but the long-term behavior change has got to be our focus. Good morning, Liz from sunny New York. Morning, Matt. Long-term behavior change means instilling not just what I do for the 1 hour session that I'm with you, twice a week, that's 2 hours a week. There's 168 hours in a week, and you reckon you're going to have an impact on people's life in just 2 hours? I think we're kind of kidding ourselves in that regard. You can smash someone in the gym, good on you, 3 cheers, they're exhausted and you feel like a hero and that's great. But have you done anything to change the way they feel about cupcakes? Have you done anything about changing the way that they feel about themselves so that they make exercise a priority? So many of our clients feel guilty about doing exercise, about taking time out of their day for themselves, for their own health and well-being. Are we doing anything to help brainwash people out of that shitty way of thinking and recognize the benefit of starting with great health and fitness and the impact that has on the rest of their life? I think that's one of the crucial things that we're missing. The other thing I'm big on is this idea that 2 sessions a week with a PT or 3 sessions a week with a PT is just, it's not enough. There's not enough integration with that. I spent some time with an unbelievable strength and conditioning coach 10 years ago on an event that a client of mine invited a whole bunch of people to, and he invited Tony Hewitt. And at the time, Tony was probably one of the leading health and strength and conditioning coaches in Australia, trained a whole bunch of athletes, lectured my PT course or my gym instructor course back in the 90s. Man's a genius. And he was talking about, I said, what are you up to, Tony? He said, I'm training Daryl Summers. So this is like 11 years ago or so. And Daryl was making a comeback. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, I spend 3 or 4 hours a day with him 5 days a week. This completely blew my mind. The idea that you're spending that much time with someone, but Tony was massaging, talking, stretching, training, doing the whole thing. And Tony's whole focus was on behavior change, long-term behavior change to get Daryl in the sort of shape that he needed to be in to make a comeback into, I don't know if it was Dancing with the Stars or something like that. And that started me getting me thinking about the fact that we need to think about total long-term behavior change with our clients. But unfortunately, we're not going to get the Daryl Summers of the world being able to do that. But having an impact on someone on a daily basis, I believe, is crucial for creating an environment where there is the opportunity for long-term behavior change. So if you haven't figured out a way of communicating with your clients on a daily basis, in some form or another, in terms of accountability, in terms of the incidental exercise they're doing, the programs you're providing for them outside of the training environment, the nutritional suggestions you're making for them, all of that thing, I think we're missing the mark. I think we're not having the impact on our clients that we need to in order to brainwash them into changing the way they think. Doing a PT session is great, but our job is to create habits in our clients, which takes 21 days apparently, and then our job is to turn those habits into rituals so they become like brushing your teeth. We should want our clients to want to exercise and eat well on a daily basis because that's who they are and what they do. They don't have to get all motivated and hyped up and willpowered up to brush their teeth every day. So why do we expect people to have to watch a Rocky 3 video in order to get in the right frame of mind to go and lift some weights or go for a jog? Shitty way of thinking. The other thing that I hear and interesting, I posted an hour or so ago that I was going to do this live, and I had some PTs coming back to me saying, well, if the clients didn't eat rubbish food, then PT would work. If we're running a business, we don't get to blame the customer for their lack of results. If you own a restaurant and no one eats at your restaurant, it's not because the customers are stupid. It's because you've missed the mark. If you're not providing the total and complete solution to your clients' problems, your clients should not come and see you. And so many of us in the fitness industry blame the client. Well, if the client would just do what they said they do, bullshit. You can't solve anything with that way of thinking. You can only solve people's problems by saying, how can I help? If I am the total and complete solution to your fat loss goals, what can I do to empower you to make the smart decisions that you need to make day in, day out to make better decisions around food and exercise? That's our job. And if we take responsibility for that position, then we can make some change on it. If we're pointing our finger at the client saying, well, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, it's like a bullshit excuse. It's like saying, well, a dog ate my homework. I can't hand it in. It's abstaining responsibility, and it's a lousy way of thinking. So I think we need to take responsibility for the fact that 63% of Australians are overweight. It is an unacceptable number, and I don't care about the body beautifuls, about the six packs, about the bikini bodies, and all that stuff. That's not my thing. But I do care about the health of Australia, and I think we, as an industry, are doing a lousy job of actually making a difference in the fitness industry. And I think one of the reasons for that is we're not keeping our clients accountable daily so that they create better habits. If you had a client who's been spending the last 20, 30, 40 years eating rubbish and not doing any exercise, you're going to have to spend time and energy retraining the way they think about food and exercise and creating habits and rituals. Otherwise, we're just not going to have the impact that we want. I hope you have an outstanding day. I hope you change some lives today. I hope you make every moment matter. If you've got any comments, please let me know below. If you think that I'm full of shit, then please tell me so. Happy to respond accordingly. If you've enjoyed it, then thank you for coming. I've really appreciated having you guys around. Have a great week. Cheers.